Hey guys, I'm Travis Cronin, and I was at the Oscars last night at all the parties, all the backstage info, and I am on Hollywood Raw, and I messed it up when we started.
It's okay. All good. Go for it again. You're good.
Hey guys, it's Travis Cronin. I was at the Oscars backstage at all the parties, and I'm going to be on Hollywood Raw to tell you all the secrets and all about it.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw YouTube page, guys. We're happy to have you here. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave us comments, do all the stuff.
What are you waiting for? Let's go. I got a drug addiction to feed.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. This is Dax Holt. That is Adam Glyn. We are doing a whole behind-the-scenes post-Oscar rundown. Obviously, the Oscars were the biggest thing that happened this weekend in entertainment news. Everyone was there, all the big stars. I don't know about you, Adam, but I actually found the award show kind of interesting this year. I thought they had some funny bits that they did. The whole John Cena coming out naked and Ryan Gosling, and I don't know. It was a fun award show. Did you enjoy it?
It was a nice award show. Was it a memorable award show? I don't think so. But it was a nice award show. What makes it
There was
memorable?
moments that are memorable.
All right, John Cena was the most memorable moment, but I think it was so memorable because if you tuned into your social media for the first 45 minutes, every single account was talking about, every single news site was talking about John Cena going on the stage nude. I mean, so that was kind of like a memorable thing because you don't see it too often. Props to John Cena for stepping up and doing something like that or agreeing to that. I don't know if that was his idea or if the Oscars writers and producers said, hey, would you mind doing this? And John Cena is one of those guys who he'll do anything you want.
I'm going to say that originated from Jimmy Kimmel's writing room. That's what I think happened.
I would say so.
They come up with these funny bits. They present it to the Oscars. The Oscars decide whether or not they're going to push the limits with something like this. But I ultimately think this would have been something Jimmy's team came up with, not the Oscars. The Oscars are not going to bend and make it funny like that. That's why they rely on these big comedians. But we have Travis Cronin coming on today. Travis was at the Oscars last night. He was literally in the building. He walked the red carpet. He got to see all these people up live, close and in person. And he is he is the entertainment director over at Us Weekly. So he's got a lot of access. He's been there for about 10 years or over 10 years. And he is just someone that we were like, absolutely, we need to talk to. We need to get these stories that we didn't see on TV. We want to have him come on, talk about what it's like when you walk in the lobby at the Oscars, who you're running into, what it's like going into the bathrooms there and the people that you are running into on a constant basis. I want the stories that no one else is telling or people are hearing. So I think today is going to be a really, really fun podcast.
Yes, before we get to him, we love reviews. We love him so much. Dax actually reads them live on air because he's a better reader than I am. Dax, you're such a good reader, Dax. Dax, do you have a review ready for us that we could share?
I do, but now I got all this pressure, and now I have to read one without messing it up. That's a little scary. All right, this one, 5 stars from BHDMS 1955. True Gentleman is the title. It says, love this podcast and especially enjoyed the episode with Heather McDonald. Dax and Adam's loyalty and gratitude to Heather clearly express their intelligent and generous spirits. This carries over to how they treat celebs during their podcast. True gentlemen. Well, thank you, BHDMS 1955. Appreciate that. Yeah, we do appreciate everything that Heather's done for us over the years, and just how many people are listening now thanks to her. So Thank you guys for checking us out.
Yeah, and keep the reviews coming. It's the best thing to do to support this podcast. On to our guest today. Dax, tell us about our guest today.
Today's guest, Travis Cronin. He is the host of Us Weekly's VIP Scene. He is also the entertainment director. He has been over there for the last 10 years, and he is also the only guest that we know that attended the Oscars. So we invited him to stop by today and chat. So Travis, thanks for joining us, buddy.
So Travis, thank you for coming on the Hollywood Raw podcast. You had a busy night last night. You were with us today, the day after all the Oscar parties and festivities. You were at the award show. So tell me about first off, What time did you start getting ready, and what time did you actually go to sleep last night?
I'd say I start getting ready at like 10:30 in the morning. I like to arrive early because it's such a mess. It's such a disaster to pull in that place. It's a crappy corner sort of on a good day of the week. So, and then if you've been by the Dolby Theater, you know that light lets like one car by. Anyway, so I start getting ready at like 10:30 and I was home around like 1:30 a.m.
Not
today.
terrible. I mean,
Yeah,
but
not
it's a
terrible.
long day. It is a long day.
It is a long day. It's a good mix of like standing and sitting though. I'm so glad I got there early because so many of the people couldn't even get to the red carpet. Everything was sort of backed up a little bit yesterday too. So I got there at 12:30 in the afternoon and I was so happy about that.
Wow.
So,
you got there at 12:30.
I was going to say, is it worth the day though? Because I feel like this is people's dream to be able to go to the Oscars and be able to like get there. And I know like Hollywood traffic sucks, and I got to imagine it really sucks on that day. Is it worth all the hubbub at the end of it?
It's I would say it depends on the Oscars. It really, really does. And I've been at the Oscars 3 different times. I've been to pretty much every other award show you can think of. And the Oscars really stands out to me because there's just a bigger caliber of star and the performances are a little bit better. So it depends on the Oscars, but I've definitely had a full day where it's not that glamorous, right? You're there at 12:30. There's no access to even food or water while you're standing on the red carpet waiting to go in. You get like a little box of food. So it's not an easygoing experience if you're not a nominee, if you're just sort of going. It's draining, but I mean, last night's was really good. So I absolutely feel it was worth it. I sort of had a really magical evening and wouldn't trade it for the world. I would have stood for double the time and gotten there, 6 hours earlier.
Okay, so walk us through what that whole process looks like. Like, I know you say it takes a little bit to get to the theater, but like, tell us how you got there, how much security there is around the place, how many times you had to go through a checkpoint. Like, I want to know what it's really like to be someone going into the Oscars.
I think that's a great question because logistics are so important for something like this. They start to close down the streets the day before, where they start assembling the red carpet in between 2 streets right there behind the Dolby Theater. So the streets are already closed down. There's gates up. There is more security or police than I could ever even count in my life. There's trucks, all different types. You can tell they all think they're in charge too, because it's, like National Guard, like head of security, private security. So it's sort of funny to say, like local cops, everyone's there's so much security. So I always try to call like a nice Uber, like an XL or a black car. This one I use like Ride Alto, which is all white Buicks, but they look very car servicey because I think it's better to show up in a car service car. You don't want to show up in an Uber X. It's security's not going to be as nice to you. It's going to take a little longer. You get treated a lot worse when you do that.
Travis, can you actually get pulled up to where do you get to pull up? Do you get to pull up where the celebrities get dropped off, or what's that like?
Yes. So last year I drove myself because I got a parking pass, but I couldn't figure it out. There's barricades everywhere. There's all these fans, and when you're dressed up really nice, like all the fans, even though I'm not known by them, they want to ask you about everything. I'm like, please, I walked 10 blocks. So this year I got a vehicle pass, which was really, really good because I was there for working press under the Academy's PR. So they gave me a vehicle pass. So I got to go up like right where the celebrities pull up. And because I was there at 12:30 and I was in a nicer car and my outfit was pretty amazing, they put me in like the front line to get out of the red carpet, like where the celebrities get out.
Very cool. Awesome. Is the Uber driver like, who are you? What is going on right now? Or did you let him know? He
saw where we were going, and he's a film buff of like really good drama. So he cares about all the sort of stuff that I wish I cared more about. I'm more on the celebrity side, but he knew all about the writing and was talking to me all about those. And he's like, this is the most exciting drop off I've ever had in my life. Because you roll over the red carpet. And he's like, he was really excited about it, and so was I.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I feel like I would want to experience this at some point in my life because the Oscars is the biggest thing you could ever go to. It's got the biggest A-list stars. Everyone's excited for it. It doesn't lose that allure. Like some of the other, I feel like award shows have lost that allure, over time. The Oscars doesn't. And even if it's a bad Oscars, it's still at the end of the day, the Oscars. And, so I don't know. I love it. Okay. So let's say you get in, you show your pass. How many times are you showing your pass before you actually get it to a seat?
They were a lot, but they're pretty good with people. One person checks your pass and then you walk by or drive by, three other people are sort of just looking at you, so there's only like one again. And I was there at 12:30. Last time I got there maybe at like 2:30 or closer to 3, and it was much more crowded. They were much more looking at tickets several times. So I only showed my vehicle pass once, had to drive by a bunch of security people because the protests were going on. So there was just sort of an increased layer of security and sort of checking everything out this year when the cars pulled up. But then when I walk up, I had a ticket to cover the show as a guest. And I know that when you walk in, there's a nominees line, there's a celebrities and social media influencers line that's sort of at the back of the red carpet. The front of the red carpet's the glamorous one you see, but there's also a back red carpet for like luminaries, but they don't want to put in prime space. They still get a nice backdrop. There's tons of professional photographers. You get the whole experience. And then if you had a ticket like I did, you were supposed to go on the guest side that people just walk in. But again, because I pulled up right and early and looked really nice, I just said I was a social media influencer just so I could get on the red carpet. So I walked in through the secondary red carpet, but still pretty good.
That's
line.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to show your outfit for the people that are watching on YouTube. This is the outfit he's talking about. For the people that are listening to the podcast, he is wearing a very sparkly black suit that has gold. Is it sequins all over it? Gold star sequins all over the whole thing. It's pretty fresh. His shoes, all sparkly as well. I mean, you definitely stand out in a crowd. I'll tell you that much.
And it looks like the Oscars, right? I look like the Oscars. So it was nice. I was in their color scheme, the black and gold. So it's just, I felt like everyone was like, this guy's supposed to be here.
You dress the part. People will definitely let you in. The one thing you did say that I caught was they have an influencers line.
So they have all nominees go on one side, and then they have a secondary red carpet if they have a ton of different people and there's celebrities who want to get photographed, or let's say they're there for sound editing or something like that. That's a little bit less glamorous, a little less live stream. Then they have a secondary red carpet for sort of overflow. And that one's much easier to get into than the main red carpet.
Do some people, though, go... If they're an influencer, they don't have a ticket to actually get in?
No, you have to have a ticket. No, you have to have a ticket. Yeah. Okay. The red carpet is a different pass that they give you. But again, because I looked good, she was like, I feel like you deserve to walk this way. Because usually when you check in, they give you a red carpet paper ticket on entry. So then you hand that to the person running. They'll have your name down because then they have that person with the board who has your name run in the back. This is Emma Stone from Poor Things. Obviously, everyone will know who she is, but they have that whole system in place. So you definitely have to get a paper ticket before you walk the real red carpet.
Gotcha.
So let me ask you this, Travis. When you're on that secondary red carpet, the celebrity and influencer red carpet, can you, and this is something I would do, can you sort of kind of hide there a little bit and not kind of keep walking, kind of walk very slowly and kind of see everyone kind of hanging out, or are they kind of pushing you down the red carpet?
Oh, Adam, it was a dream for people like you and I because we do the same type of reporting and journalism. So when those two carpets meet at the end, they share a wall. So you walk out on the real red carpet that has all the press, which is gigantic and huge and so long, like a city block and a half long. So yeah, I stayed on the red carpet, until 5 minutes before the show started because I got to see every huge celebrities. I talked to some, got some on the records if I knew their publicist. And I didn't even have a spot on the red carpet, but it was really good that I sort of, you're supposed to go in as press on one side, you sit up earlier behind a barricade, or you're a guest on the show who can't get into that area. But I really got in a sweet spot this year. And yes, I did sort of sneak. I was respectful. I was a nice guest, but yeah, and it was perfect for it. It was great.
Now, how did you get the actual inside ticket? Because I know 100 people that work for different outlets that they are only allowed to cover the red carpet and the
Right.
after parties. There is no going in to enjoy the show. They may go to a screener of the show outside, watch it go down so that they have stuff to ask at the after parties. But not everyone gets a ticket to inside. How did you score that ticket?
Well, I've been at Us Weekly for 10 years, so I know a lot of people. A lot of people trust me, but it's really beg, borrowing, and stealing before the show every year. I've gotten in through sponsors, I've gotten in through their main PR, I've gotten in through a DJ, I have gotten tickets to the Oscars and all award shows in a variety of different ways.
Yeah. And so your seat, based on what I saw, what you posted on social media, you were sort of like in the balcony-ish, which granted, so of course everyone would love to sit on the floor, but that's for a lot of the people that were nominees. When you're up top there, which is still, you're in the room, it's still awesome regardless. Do they have an open bar there for you? Is there food for you? What's the deal there?
Yeah, there is. There on every single floor has one. And last year I was in through a sponsor and I had a better seat like on the first balcony. And this one I was here through Academy Publicity and I was all the way in the top one. So I was a little pissed, but you're in the room. It's great. It happens. But they have open bars at every single level and food packets. And when you're a member of the press who they know and trust a lot, I get a blue wristband, which was in all my photos. And I was so pissed that I put it on before I went in there. But I get a blue wristband that allows me lobby access to go down to the first floor bar. And I've had that every year. Yeah. And that is so
Very cool.
valuable. So valuable to me because I get to see all the celebrities at the bar interacting during the show. So while I am sitting up, I'm going up and down from my seat to the balcony because I have this blue band that says lobbies on it.
Yeah, so I guess cool. I didn't even think about that. Like they restrict the floors. Like I would think once you're in, you can kind of move freely about the cabin. No, you can't. You actually have to.
But there's a bar on every level. There's a bar and like snacks. They're nicer than movie snacks. They're not amazing. It's some trail mix. It's like little pretzels and popcorn packets and sort of stuff like that. But they have an open bar too that you can go out during every commercial break and you can get there as early as 12:30 and start watching the red carpet on the lobby bar of every single floor and like having some snacks.
So what's your most memorable bar experience from this year? Because then I'd like to hear what you've seen at the years prior.
Well, it's sort of all tied into it because I've had such a sort of trend of Florence Pugh at the bar that last year I did a shot with her and Cara Delevingne because I was down there and they were both in these extravagant gowns. It was very amazing. And then every time I was in the lobby, I saw Florence at the bar every single time with Eva Longoria, with Emma Stone, with all of these people. And she really has fun. And I see her going back and forth to her seat. So whenever I think of the Oscars bar, I think of Florence Pugh either doing like a shot with her or seeing her with every single celebrity and sort of being like the queen of the after party already at the show.
Well, when Oppenheimer won, like you could hear her screaming on stage. So it makes sense. She was already 10 bar, travels deep. Yeah. And so she was like really feeling the moment of that win.
Yeah. Because there's definitely with a lot of the celebrities there, it's how I do it sort of. There's sort of a 1.5 to drink situation that you have there because you're on. You could be on camera at any time. All these people could be walking up there and giving the most important speech of their life. So there really is like a casual socialness, but not really a Florence Pugh like dedication to the open bar and getting all of that it provides right off the bat.
So is it weird if you're at that bar on the first floor? Is it weird if you go up to them and ask them for a photo? Are they all cool about taking selfies? Is everyone just taking selfies with each other? Like, what's the vibe like?
They're definitely taking selfies with each other. I always tell people that it's never, especially in that area, that's sort of like a ticketed, listed event that has a screening process. You can always go ask a celebrity for a selfie because they get it all the time. And if you're in one of these type of rooms where you've been quite literally vetted and background checked, and a lot of times they're going to be really amenable to that. I don't like to take selfies with celebrities at these type of things because I'm sort of more of like a documentarian at that point. And it just doesn't feel appropriate. And it blows up my spot a little bit too, right? So I don't really like ask for photos there unless I like know them.
Has anything ever gone down that you're like, God damn, I want to pull my phone out right now. I so badly want to be taking and documenting this moment, but I can't.
Not at the Oscars, but definitely that has happened to me before but usually I'm pretty quick to flip my phone out and I can capture every moment that I want to. But it has definitely happened to me before. It's on the quick draw because no pockets, so it's literally always in hand.
So obviously you're watching the award show last night. Was there any celebrities sitting around you or in your area, or was it all journalists?
No. So the way it's set out is they have pretty much only celebrities and like the biggest directors, the biggest producers who are there every year in the first floor. From what I hear, it's a very coveted thing to get in the orchestra seating at the Oscars. I've never even come close. I have gotten second balcony. I have no interest in the effort that it takes to take me from tier 2 to tier 1 because I have lobby access with the bracelet. And honestly, it's a better vantage point for me looking at celebrities and their interactions and everything that happens after. So I'm happy to be a level up.
I understand. Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what they got to do to get down there.
Now, have you ever seen someone like tearing up in the lobby? Because I know when they don't win on TV, everyone keeps it together and claps for the other people. And they're like, good job. When you know inside this is their biggest moment. The biggest award could change their life. Not winning is a huge letdown for them. Do you ever see anyone out in the lobby, like actually away from cameras, tearing up?
Yeah, no, it's such a weird area down there at the bar because, like you said, it's really full of people who have staked so much into this, who haven't won, primarily for the most part. And while I've seen like a couple people from the animated film guy last year was like tearing up, but it's way more common to see celebrities like pissed or for like their co-stars.
Yeah.
Like that is something I more see because the people are aware that they're on display. They're trying to keep it together. But even last night when Emily Blunt didn't win for Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. just looked like tense, and pissed and left. And I think that I see way more of that of friends of people and co-stars who think they deserve it getting upset for the other person versus someone breaking down themselves out there.
Yeah, totally.
By
the way, Emily Blunt, while we're on her, I know you're a big fashion guy.
Yeah.
Thoughts on her dress? The weirdest dress where the straps weren't touching her shoulder. I'm not a big fashion person, but I was like, what the hell is happening right now?
It's a scoliosis brace, unfortunately. It's a very, very pretty scoliosis brace. Maybe the prettiest scoliosis brace I've ever seen, but it still is that, and that's unfortunate. But I will say on the red carpet, when her and John Krasinski walked by me, them as a couple, like it felt like we were at their wedding and that they were the king and queens of everything, like the Capitol Hunger Games, like French aristocracy. It was really beautiful seeing the two of them together.
Who's the one person that when they walk, like every head turns? Like I know Emily's famous, but it's not like, I feel like Angelina Jolie would stop the whole room. Who is the person this year that stops everyone?
I call it the Beyonce effect, that when Beyonce shows up anywhere to anything, people aren't only staring at her, but huge A-list celebrities are dying to get a chance to go talk to her for a second, and it causes that ruckus. It was hard this year because of how backed up the traffic was to drop everyone off, that the red carpet was a little different this year, and the show started late for a reason, and that was because protest, car buildup, rough corner on a good day, and they got dropped off late. So most of the big stars didn't get enough people to have that for. But if I had to pick a belle of the ball, it would be Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Even before the performance, he's just adorable and endearing in this role. So he was definitely the one people were interested in the most.
Yeah, he was his hair, man. I don't have a friend that has hair color like that. Like, it's just, do you think Ryan Gosling colors his hair, or is that just natural, like what he's got going on?
I 100% think that he uses, it's called balayage, which isn't where you dye your hair. It's where you put on a treatment and it lifts your natural color to create you a little bit more blonde, or however you were at birth, that creates a little more dimension. And I know, for a fact, that he uses self-tanning drops on a regular. So this is a man who is putting work into his appearance. So this hair isn't just straight up.
Good to know.
I need to talk John Cena naked at the Oscars. You were there.
Yeah.
What happened when the cameras cut away? What the hell was he wearing underneath the little envelope?
So it was, I think drag queens call it a gaff. I don't know, you call it like a gooch holder, I guess.
A gooch holder?
Yeah, that's how I would
What is
describe
that?
it.
What's a gooch holder?
So it's
like
sort
a
of
thing
like
that goes.
like a corset for the groin. So it's in the color nude and it has a little bit of structuring on the outside of it, but it sort of looks like a pad, like a girl's would use like a tampon, like a pad. And it goes up just under the gooch and the kibbles and bits and just the crack and just covers the least amount possible, but supports itself as well.
Okay.
Support's very important in that sort of situation. So sort of like, I don't know, a bra for the balls.
So like a privacy patch. Is this the same thing that actors wear in like nude scenes and stuff as well?
This one seemed a little bit more tailored than what they wear. Usually this was sort of like the couture version of what I think they would wear on set, which is just, I don't know, that it looks nice. He looked great, obviously, but his little gaff gooch cover thing, someone took their time creating that and making it a supportive garment. There was craftsmanship on it. I'm not kidding. It really did look intentional.
What was it like when you're in the audience and this moment happens? Because this is a first for the Oscars, besides the streaker, obviously, back in the day. But they bring out someone naked. Like, what was it like? What was the feeling? Because again, this is the most prestigious show in Hollywood, and now you got a nude dude on stage.
I really want to say that I love the Oscars to keep its integrity and really just keep everything status quo, but I like to be entertained at these shows. And I think the problem with a lot of shows is that people are watching at home and they're like, you're all the people in charge of everything that we've watched the last year and you can't put on a show that excites us. So when naked John Cena, who's just like, he's like Mark Wahlberg and unintentionally hilarious. I mean, intentionally, they know they're comedic actors, but it seems no harm, no foul, right? So I loved how entertaining it was. I think everyone in the audience was just excited that there was a moment to like gasp at, because we want thrills and chills. You guys are in the movie business, and often that comes with nudity.
Adam, next time you catch John Cena, I want to know if he kept his gooch scooch.
Oh, I bet he did.
That's worth money. Yeah, that thing's
Dude,
worth money.
Adam runs into him every couple weeks. He's always.
I saw him the other day. I saw him on Wednesday of last week.
We need to know if that was a keepsake or if he tossed that.
It's definitely tailor-made, so I guess he can't go anywhere else, so I hope he gets to keep it.
What's the one thing that you were there, what's the one thing that you're surprised people aren't talking about more that happened at the Oscars?
I think that everyone thought that Lily Gladstone was going to win Best Actress, and that Emma Stone won. I feel like
So was there like a sigh in the room, or was there like, do you think there was like a weird applause to it?
Like there was like a weird, but Emma Stone really is like the nicest person in Hollywood. The only stories I've heard about her is that she remembers everyone's name on set, especially the children's, and will write them letters for years and like knows their grandparents. Like she is above and beyond. And I've been hearing this reporting for over 10 years. So there was an explosion of excitement. But when I got to the governor's ball and I started to talk, to friends that I knew there who were sort of like in my industry, that's the first thing we brought up. You're like, wow, that was sort of an upset that we thought Lily Gladstone was going to win for her portrayal in Killers of the Flower Moon. So, yeah.
So actually, let's get into this governor's ball, though, by the way. You went to one party or two parties?
I just went to one. We had someone else at Vanity Fair, so I just stayed at Governor's Ball.
Okay, so what is the governor's ball exactly?
Well, just like a nuts and bolts of the Governor's Ball it's the place where they have to go to get their statue engraved, because when they're on the stage, they get given a blank statue that has nothing on the bottom black part of it. So every single person who wins has to walk, and it's right across from the Dolby Theater, like on the top floor. It's very easy Same plaza. So every celebrity has to walk through the Dolby Theater.
Is it in the hotel next to it, or where is it housed?
I literally couldn't even tell because I'm not in that area very often, but I believe it was the hotel. But they transformed the space so much that I didn't even know where I was.
Gotcha.
But it's the top level of that plaza, and it sort of connects to the theater. I assume it's a hotel place. But it was they really deck it out. I literally couldn't even tell, there's so much stuff everywhere. But so every winner has to go over there to get their statue engraved, because at the governor's ball at the Grammys or the Emmys or something like that, usually it's not star-studded. Celebrities want to go to a little bit more private of a party, a harder one to get into. So the governor's balls, they're very industry, a lot of important movers and shakers there, but like no one who I would be reporting on at all the other governor's balls. What is kept at the Oscars is that it's the Oscars, and it's such a big thing, but also because every celebrity has to go over there if they want their name on their Oscar. So there's everyone that literally is going to go there unless they want a blank Oscar the rest of their life.
That's cool. So who'd you see getting their Oscar engraved?
Every single person.
Yeah.
Who won. Yeah. Every single person who won, I saw walk across that stage.
Oh, it's so cool. This to me sounds fun. Like, it's all cool to see them on stage and get the award, but to be up close to them and see this moment where they're watching their name be engraved on this statuette that literally means everything to them, I think that would be cool.
Oh, Divine Joy.
Are they like
her do it? She was flipping out. Divine Joy, who won for Best Supporting Actress for Divine Joy Randolph. To see her, she was like so overwhelmed. She was crying. It was like so touching for her. And then when she walks off the stage, she's pretty much like floating, really like ethereal. And it's such a beautiful, emotional walk across the stage to watch happen.
How many like little engraving stations do they have at the governor's ball? And are all the celebs like videotaping or like got their cameras out taping as they're watching their stuff get engraved?
Yeah, they usually the publicists or the managers will be in charge of the social media and sort of videoing for them. But there's a raised stage right at one of the ends of the huge hall that it's in, probably a banquet hall at that hotel. But you can see them walk across. There's about 3 or 4 engravers that can go at the same time. So a bunch of people come in, they can do it. But yeah, they just stand around and like chit chat and hop and knob with all the winners up there, and then just watch their name get etched on the statue, and then get to walk off with it and, have some great cocktails and like really good food.
That's fun.
Yeah. So at that, is that the party where, Wolfgang, what's it?
Wolfgang.
He's making, so Wolfgang makes this like crazy menu for this event where they had these cigars, right? Where he's like, but they're not cigars
every year.
Tell me about exactly the food situation was going on.
You have a great knowledge of this, Adam. Wolfgang Puck does do the food every year, and it's so good. But he does these. They're like a chocolate truffle mousse cake cigar. So they're a chocolate mousse surrounded by like a really thin layer of chocolate with a chocolate little strap on the cigar. And then they put it in some little dry ice nitrogen moment. And then your black mousse truffle cake smokes while you eat it. And you get to walk around like nibbling on it. And it's a smoking cigar.
So cool.
It's awesome.
So cool.
It's a really good gastronomy moment for that smoking cigar cake.
I love it.
Man, and I got, so you're at this party. How long were you at the party for afterwards?
I was there pretty much till it closed because we had other reporters, other places, and I was going to go meet my friend at Sunset Tower, but like the traffic was all wild. So I was there until about midnight.
So what stories did you break on Us Weekly about this whole event?
God, we broke the Robert Downey Jr. being pissed that Emily Blunt did not win the award. All of like the Ariana Grande like interactions do really well with us, just like who she's hugging, who she's talking to. Our most popular post of the year is the one we did today that are my observations of the Oscars, everything you didn't see on TV. So it's more like what we're talking about right now is the more like innocuous sort of things versus like Kim and Odell Beckham Jr. that were spotted together at the after party. Like we broke that story like many weeks ago, but that was sort of like one of the bigger things to come out about it. And Travis and Taylor and Sabrina Carpenter flying back for an after party as well. Those were like the only sort of like juicy nugget stories that were going on in there. Yeah, like tea-worthy. And like I talked to a lot of other people and got some stories that if I had worked at like the cut sort of, I could probably do, but just aren't inappropriate for, they're just not really appropriate for Us Weekly because they're a little bit more insider baseball.
Sure.
Now, would you?
Yeah, totally.
Would you, if you had a choice between the Governor's Ball and the Vanity Fair after party, and they had the tickets, which one would you take?
That's tough because the Vanity Fair party is not as fun as it used to be. It's super, super amazing and luxurious and fun, but it just feels a little bit commercialized and it's still a pageant. And the Governor's Ball is that way, and Vanity Fair never used to be that way. The Vanity Fair the Governor's Ball was sort of where celebrities were still, knowing that they're on. There's a lot of important people in the room. And then Vanity Fair was where they cut loose a little bit. And then Vanity Fair just got further and further away from that. And I think that has sort of like turned me off from it because it was such sort of like a refuge for people just letting their hair down and having fun. And now it's Beyonce and Jay-Z's gold party that they do at the Chateau Marmont. That is the one that every celebrity wants to be invited to and where they really can like hot new hookups, like dance and like know that there are going to be really no photos. And Madonna's party too.
Yeah,
that where people cut loose.
That's what I was told, Travis. And you were there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never been to the Oscars, but the Vanity Fair party, people go there, they get their photo taken real quick, and then they're not there too long. And it's
exactly
from what I was told. I talked to someone who was there last night, celebrity, name drop, but they were like, it was packed. You go there, you kind of wait for the photo, you take the photo that you're there, and then you bail. And then you hope that you could get into Guy Oseari's party. It's Guy Oseari and Madonna's party. And I guess you're saying Jay-Z has a party as well that night, correct?
Yeah, that's sort of the Jay-Z Beyonce party is like the new coolest party that every celebrity wants to be at. Beyonce and Jay-Z really have done to Oscars what Rihanna did to the Met Ball, because before the Met Ball only had one after party that was Vogue's official party that was always at the Boom Boom Room at the Standard, and then Rihanna started throwing her parties. So then everyone was at the official after party, but they're like, wouldn't we rather be at a Rihanna party? Yes, they would. And now Rihanna's party is sort of the go-to most fun after party. And Beyonce and Jay-Z have become that for the Oscars. Like Natalie Portman and Leonardo DiCaprio and all of Jay-Z and Beyonce's friends will be there. And it really is like the new hottest ticket in town is the gold party. And it's fun.
I was just saying, isn't it kind of random though? Like you've got these two huge music stars throwing the biggest party after the Oscars. Like it just like you would think that Leo would be the person throwing the biggest after party, or someone that is like, I know Beyonce is obviously she's dabbled in acting and all of that.
Not her forte.
But she is known for music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and no, you're right. You're right. And I never thought about it that way because it's like how, yes, Rihanna's like more involved in fashion for the Met Ball, but if I'm at the Vanity Fair party, I'm like, do we want to go to Beyonce's? Just the mention of going to a Beyonce and Jay-Z party gives me the same level of high-end excitement that the Oscars does, even though they're not writing, producing, directing, or doing cinematography of any of the sort for, major motion picture.
And
so do you have any?
I was gonna say the trip from the Dolby, is it Dolby Theater still? I don't even know what the hell it's called these days. The Dolby Theater to Chateau. It's on a normal day. It's not that far. It's maybe 10 minutes. Like it's a pretty quick trip. I have to imagine though, last night after the Oscars, that's an hour trip, right?
And because I booked like a ride service that wasn't a car service, because with the vehicle pass, they give you a little thing to put in your window to go through the next checkpoint so you don't have to keep showing your pass to everybody, but then they give you like a return stub so your car can come back around and pick you up after the Oscars or the Governor's Ball is done. But I didn't have one, so then I had to walk down 2 blocks, like try to squeeze through like chainmail fences to try to like meet my car and figure out where I'm going to be able to cross the street, and like mainly like look unassuming to police officers so they will let me just sort of skate by. I'm like, hi, I'm in a glitter suit, I'm clearly not here to hurt anybody, I'm not trying to be low-key, please just let me get to my Uber. So it's that's what takes the longest for me, because once you get 1 or 2 blocks away, you can go anywhere really quickly, but it's just the pickup that you have to have a car service to make it efficient.
So, do you have any intel of what happened at Jay-Z and Beyonce's party at all? Have you heard anything? How it
No,
was?
not yet. And that's what's so great about that party, is that's one of those things where information sort of gets leaked out like slowly over the next week, because they do such a good job of keeping the guest list right and guarding the information, which draws to the intrigue and the only reason celebrities will keep going back if their, business isn't put in publications like mine and yours.
Are you saying we wouldn't get an invite?
I'm saying we all are definitely not invited right now, and that would put the nail in the coffin that is already underground.
See, I'm surprised that they don't try to, because more, we've been in this industry for a long time, that all these parties that they try to be so exclusive, they always have, even including Vanity Fair, obviously, like you said, they have reporters there to kind of like, hey, you're allowed to kind of go mingle, do what you can, and get some stories out of it. And the celebrities to know that you're there. But Jay-Z and Beyonce, I'm surprised, even like when it comes to like Michael Rubin parties, I know they have like a reporter here and there kind of go into the party and do what you got to do. Like they want it, but they don't want it, but they know they need to have it. So I'm surprised Jay-Z and Beyonce did not do that. Now, Guy Oseary and Madonna, they had their party. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce went to that party.
Yeah.
What are you hearing about that? Like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift that are over that party? Were they hanging out with everyone? What were they doing there? Were people fanboying and fangirling over Taylor? What was that like?
Yeah, Taylor really is, like, from what I'm hearing, she has the Beyonce effect, right? She's one of the biggest stars in the entire world, and she draws everyone's attention. They were hanging out with everybody. They flew over with Sabrina Carpenter, her opening act, who's dating Barry. I can never pronounce Coggin, thank you. They haven't been famous for more than 8 months. I sometimes mess up on the last name. He's great though. Saltburn was so good. But so that's who Sabrina Carpenter is dating. So we heard that all 4 of them went there for sort of like a little double date, and we're hanging out with people. But the Guy Oseary party is also like Jay-Z and Beyonce's. That is really good about not letting people like me and you in there, and having a no phones, no photos policy that really keeps people, able to have like a really good time.
I love this, Travis. Yeah. This has been such a fun conversation. Tell people about the VIP scene that you do for Us Weekly, where they can see a little bit more of you.
Yeah, check on usmagazine.com. Us Weekly, called the VIP scene. I go through a different city every week and talk about where celebrities go, and it's where you learn to live, dine, and shop like your favorite celebrities. That's my tagline, if you couldn't tell from my change of inflection. And you can find it at usmagazine.com. This has been so fun to talk to you guys. It's fun to talk to people in the biz about this kind of stuff.
No, dude, if you're doing the Oscars next year, I 100% want to do this again. This is so fun to get the inside scoop, because that's what we're all about. Like, that's great that what we saw on TV, but like, what did we not see on TV? What happened behind the scenes? Who was there at the bar? And you are the person that is mingling with the celebs, hanging out, getting drinks with them. And so this to me was a very entertaining conversation. So thank you for jumping on last minute with us, making this such a fun chat. Really appreciate your time.
Of course. Back at you guys. This was fun. I'll definitely be back, because I consider myself an Oscars fixture at this point.
I love gossiping. I love it. I love being a gossip guy, but it's not even really gossiping. It's just like, tell me what it's like. And I hope you guys like it too. But I know me and you kind of, even to the random questions, like what the food is like. Come on. That's just,
I'm like, he's living
questions, but I love it.
He's living that dream that, like, I would love to go to it's like the one show I've been to. Other shows, they're not that exciting, but the Oscars, there's something like to be able to say you've been in the audience at the Oscars, or like you've been around just the biggest stars in Hollywood. To me, that would be fun. Like sneaking around the bar, like sign me the hell up for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I can't even think of the biggest show I've been to. I mean, I was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame recently, and that was just, hey, if you want to give me a free ticket to it again, I'll go to it. But it's nothing that people might think it's not as crazy as people might think. But the Oscars is just, it's the only award show I think these days that I still watch, because it's just glamorous. It's also inspiring to me in a way. And there's so much power in that room I mean, it's just the energy in that room, just from the talent that's in there. It's just got to be pretty incredible. But yeah, just to hear from his take and his perspectives, and also letting us know about the stories he broke. Travis is a veteran at this, so he's like the perfect guy you want to talk to the day after the award show to find out what happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good find, by the way. Yeah, I think you were following him on social media, like, oh my god, we got to get Travis on here.
Travis
Bravo
is in
to
New York.
you by
Yeah, Travis is a New York bud. We've been seeing each other on shitty red carpets for years. And you know what's so funny? People think like red carpets are this big glamorous thing. A lot of times it's a shitty red carpet, like not even a good piece of red carpet with a banner behind it, and you're at some Hilton hotel or Marriott, and you're like, oh, this is the red carpet? People don't know what it's really like. It's not as glamorous as you think. However, the Oscars is something else. It's just it's the Super Bowl for Hollywood. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're on it all. We've been really throwing up a lot of clip stacks lately on our social media from the podcast.
It's been great.
Pretty daily. It's been really good. If you're on Facebook, we have a private Facebook group called Off the Record. You guys should be in it because we're in it. It's a really cool community. We talk all things Hollywood. It's just, you guys can ask us questions. We kind of talk to you. It's cool. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more where that came from. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.